Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about our second lesson of the topic factorization. In my first lesson about this topic factorization, I just explained the meaning of factorization, means what you are supposed to do if the question is related to factorization. So it means you just have to write one algebraic expression as the product of two algebraic expressions, or it depends on the question. There might be three, four, it depends on the question. But just remember, you have to write the algebraic expression as a product. Here will be one algebraic expression and then another algebraic expression, and there can be many more. It depends upon the question, but always there will be a multiplication that you can show with the help of sign of like you can show it with the help of brackets also. Okay, before I start today's lesson, which is based on the actual factorization of first type, where we will be discussing the questions. For example, we will be discussing the questions of the type 2a plus b. We will be factorizing this question. We will be learning the factorization of the stuff like expression like a squared plus 2a. We will be learning about factorization of, let's say we have 2a plus 4a squared. And then last one will be something like, for example, we have 4a squared plus 6ab. So these would be the main categories of the questions we will be discussing. This is the very first type of the questions in factorizations. Okay, these are the questions where after factorization you get a single bracket. You would be getting some number or letter and then multiply by an expression over here. So this is the beginning point. Now, before I start explaining you these concepts, how to do this factorization, I would like to highlight some of the points. For example, if you find anywhere is written x squared, you can consider it that it is equivalent to x multiplied by x. Most of the students are confused between x squared and 2x. They consider both are same. No, they are different. X squared means x is multiplied by x, and 2x you can consider is like 2 multiplied by x, or you can consider it like x plus x also. If you have to show it in multiplication, basically this is a kind of multiplication here. Whenever a letter, a number and a letter are written together, so that means there is a multiplication. Clear? If I am writing something like 3ab, this means 3 is multiplied by a multiplied by b. These things are really important to do these questions. Okay, then next is you must be very good with the concept of finding the highest common factor of two numbers or more than two numbers. Highest common factors. Okay, if you know these concepts, then you can do these questions of factorizations very easily, because factorization is based on the concept of highest common factors also. And also these two parts are very important. You should know that if I have to write down, let's say we have x cubed, we should know what does it mean. X cubed, its meaning is x multiplied by x multiplied by x. We must know what is the meaning of x to the power 4. Its meaning is x times x times x times x, and x to the power 4 is not equal to 4x. 4x means 4 is multiplied by x. Okay, now let's start explaining the factorization stuff for these questions. So I consider you understood these parts. These are the very important stuff. Okay, practice it on everyday basis, then it will be easy for you to understand the factorization. Now, if you see the first question, here I have the question is 2a plus b. Wait a minute, you can just write here 4b. Yeah. So 2a plus 4b. Now in this question, what is the important thing here? When you do factorization, we need to work on the concept of highest common factor. Now we can see that in both there are two terms in this expression, and those two terms are one is 2a and another is 4b. So if I write the first term is 2a, and I can write it in expanded form as 2 times a. This is just for the beginners I am explaining. When you will be good with this concept, you can do it directly without writing in the expanded form. It is just for the sake of clarity. Then next term we have 4b. So write that also as an expanded form. Now I can see both the terms 2a and 4b, they have a number and they have letters also. But if we see the two letters are totally different, so we cannot take anything out. We can take only that thing out which is same. Like now, if I look at the numbers, we have number 2 and 4. And if I have to find out the HCF of 2 and 4, it is equivalent to 2. So that means out of 2a and 4b, I can take 2 outside. So here, these 2 will be gone out. And this 4 can be written as further as 2 times 2 times b. Why I am writing like this? Because I have to take 2 common outside. So now this 2 will be out. Now when I will be taking this 2 out, so what is gonna happen? I have the term 2a and I have the term 4b. I am gonna write it like this. It is 2 times a plus 2 times 2 times b. This 2 times is I'm going to take it common. So it is outside. When I'm taking this part outside, what will be left inside? It is only this a. So I would be writing a. Then there is a plus symbol. This 2 multiply is taken outside and we will write it only once. And what is left inside the bracket? It is 2b. So this is the factorization. It is a factorization of first type where we are just taking a number common. Only a number is common and we are factorizing with the help of that. Okay. Now comes the second question where we have the question is a squared plus 2a. Now again, the first step of solving these factorization questions is write the question as it is. Then look for how many terms are there. As I can see, there are two terms. First term is a squared. Write it in expanded form. So it means a square. It is not, it doesn't mean it is a plus a. Rather, its meaning is a multiplied by a. Second term is 2a. And this means 2 multiplied by a. See the difference. Now, when I look at these terms, I see that a and a part is common. Letter is a common one, but there is no number common. So again, I will be writing this question a squared plus 2a as a multiplied by a plus 2 times a. And I can see this a I can take common. You can write it in the beginning or after, it doesn't matter. So I will be taking this a common and then I will be left with this a. When you put a bracket, then no need of putting the multiplication sign. So when I take this 1a common, so only 1a will be left inside from the first term. And from the second term, when it is taken out, only 2 is left. So this is the factorization. A times a plus 2 inside the bracket. Because the bracket is holding two terms, there are two terms inside. So we need to include them in the bracket. Now the third question comes where we can take letters common, we can take numbers common as well. So you always have to look for as many things you can take common. So the question is 2a plus 4a squared. Now the first thing what I'm going to do is I will be writing it in expanded form in a horizontal way. So 2a means it is 2 multiplied by a plus, as I know that the highest common factor of 2 and 4 is 2, so I would write this 4 as 2 times whatever. So it is 2 times 2 here. Then this is a squared. So it will be written as a times a. See, this second term is 4a squared. First, you can take it like it is 4 times a squared. And then this 4, you can write it 2 times 2. And this a square, you can write as a times a. You must understand these things. Now, once you write it in this way, now you can clearly see that what is common. Here we have 2 and a. Here also we have 2 and a. And we can take this whole part common. So basically I am taking 2 times a common, which means it is 2a. So 2a is common. Now when you take this whole thing common, so what is left inside? Only 1. Because we can write this 2 times a, which is 2a. I can write it 2 times a, and I can also write it as 2 times a times 1. So when you take this part outside, 1 will be left inside. Nothing will be left, doesn't make it like 0, because this is a multiplication here. 2a times what gives you 2a? It is 1. Then again, this part is gone outside. So what is left behind? 2 and a. So this is the answer. 2a times 1 plus 2a. I again repeat, this is a very important point. When you have a term and you take this whole term common, so understand it like it is 2a multiplied by 1. So when you take this whole term 2a outside, what will be left inside will be 1. Never write it 0 or never remove this one. Most of the students, what mistake they do is, I want to tell you, rather than writing this way, when they will take 2a common, they will just write inside this 2a and they will write nothing for it, or they will write just a 0 plus 2a, which would be wrong. Okay, so remember, when you take the whole term common, just write 1 instead of that inside the bracket. Next question is now, I hope everything is clear so far. Now the next question is 4a squared plus 6ab. So we have 4a squared plus 6ab. Now we have numbers here, we have letters here. So again, I will be writing in expanded form. So this is 4 times a squared and this is 6 times a times b. Now we look at the HCF of 6 and 4, which is 2. So I will write both these numbers as a multiple of like 2 times whatever. So 2 times 2, and a square also I'm going to write as a times a. And this 6 also I'm going to write 2 times whatever, like 3. Now I can see what is common in these two terms. 2 is here and 2 is here. A is here, A is also here. Now rest of the terms, there is nothing common. So basically I am taking this 2 and A common. So this 2A is outside. What is left inside? Again, there is 1, 2 and A plus, then it is 3 and B. So this is the factorization. So steps are, if you are a beginner, you can expand the terms and expand the terms with letters and numbers, like 4a square, you can write 4 times a square. Then you can do further expansion, like because 2 is the common factor, highest common factor for 4 and 6. So write 4 as 2 times and 6 also 2 times. And then you can just underline the letters and words, letters and numbers which are common, write them outside. Whatever is the leftover part, write inside. I hope this is clear to all of you. Thank you.